Chapter 15. The Aftermath. He left just like that? Reese inquired. David sat beside him on the cot, both in disbelief as they processed the information that Takeo had departed. The three of them sat under a tan canopy that had been transmuted into a small center for medical services. There were 3 cots inside. The other 2 were occupied, one by a man whose hand was wrapped in gauze due to injury by a blade. The other was a woman who moaned in the distance. She clenched her stomach. Large red splotches seeped through the bandage that covered her lower torso. Reese's shirt was withdrawn. Along his back was a gathering of bandages placed on the most severe sections of his injury, leaving an incoherent pattern. In some areas, he was given nothing where pink scabs infected his body. I can see right through what this is. They're trying to make a joke if you're going to try make it funny, Reese suggested. It's not, Alex clarified. I tried to stop him. Takeo, I know that you can hear me. Get in here so we can talk about what to do next. No response came from the outside. You need to take this seriously. Here's why I know this is bullshit. The 2 of you went out, and you came back without a scratch on you. If he left, that means you let him leave. Something I know you wouldn't do. He used a smoke grenade to get away. So? It makes one faint, David flatly presented. If Takeo wants to kill everybody, it wouldn't be a problem to kill his commander. The former title coerced Alex to wince. I'm not a commander anymore. Conrad may have evolved to make his speech patterns fluent. Before its return, the Hive took hours to infect somebody. Its blood was an obvious indicator of host bodies. Those both changed. Takeo could have been taken, David suggested. He chose to go, Alex asserted. I should have tried harder. I knew he was changing, and I did nothing about it. Takeo can be brought back. He spent his whole life among humans, but we're not going to be able to do it by sitting in a tent, David theorized. It's a little hard for me to stand right now, Reese said. Then stay here. Eric will allow you to enjoy a life of leisure. Sir. Don't get me wrong, I will, but I want to see what else is out there. Let's trail him, the 3 of us. No, Alex decided. We can't waste time. We need to take Zone 6. Before either David or Reese could react, the caretaker barged inside, ending the conversation. These will help you feel better, the caretaker claimed. She held 3 white pills. Reese took one. You can have all 3, she offered with a sympathetic smile. I'm good with one for now, but thank you, Reese said with a wink. Are you both ready to leave? Alex asked. First, I'll need to bargain for some supplies. I have some tinkering to do, David stated. I also have some tinkering to do. You know what I mean, Reese quipped. It's not going to happen, Alex joked. I've heard women don't enjoy injured men, David added. You've heard wrong, Reese claimed. I'm going to kill him, a familiar voice claimed. Lonnie aggressively strode into the tent, trailed by the caretaker whose guilty eyes gravitated to the floor. You let a traitor live. It's obvious that mark on your hand shows who you really are. You're still a loyalist. Lonnie stopped when he was just a few inches away from Alex. His screech was used as intimidation, but it did nothing to falter. After watching 2 loved ones depart, Lonnie's displaced rage was meaningless. I can tell you what happened. All I need from you is that you remain calm, Alex suggested. You left to plot with him. Everything that has happened is your fault. This place is surrounded by Amishmen who will kill you the moment that I say the word. Alex saw a shuffling of feet alongside the bottom edges of the tent. Above them were the shadows of Amishmen, prepared to kill under the false accusation that Alex was a traitor. What would your mother say about this? Reese insinuated. Stop with the jokes, Alex warned. You don't know anything about the layout of Zone 6. That's information you'll need. Plus your mom likes us. I'm pretty sure she really likes me. As a response, Lonnie pushed Reese to the floor. Reese landed on his back and screamed in pain. His pestering insults ended. We'll figure it out. We have drones. Which the Hive will be able to detect, David clarified. Everything that flies within Zone 6 airspace will be shot down. What is Takeo going to do? The Hive saw something in him, the same thing it saw in me, the ability to lead. He never saw it in you, Alex claimed. It would have if I'd stayed, Lonnie defended. Stayed where? David asked. Lonnie bit his lip. When the Hive falls, I will support you, Alex offered, and I don't need it. If I was with the Hive, I would have left by now, Alex screamed loud enough for those outside to hear. I'm the man who activated the EMP. David recalled as he fearlessly stepped away from the tent, coming to face an arrow pointed towards him. "They are trying to corrupt you," Lonnie accused while his face flushed red with anger. "Without the EMP, every individual within here would be dead." Lonnie turned to leave, but he was too late. The Amishman supporters had slipped from his flimsy grip. They were ready to kill their former master. "Maybe you're a part of a hive," a gunman accused. "He's not. He recently lost some people important to him and is looking for somebody to blame," Alex justified. "He has my full support," Reese added. He placed his hand on Lonnie's shoulder as a false symbol of friendship. Lonnie rapidly shrugged it away. "Okay, half support. But we all have the same goal." "That's not true," Eric said as he entered. "I told that to all of you when we first met." "Where the hell were you?" Lonnie asked. "You almost killed the ally that you came with." "I don't want any more dead. I'm surprised that seeing all the corpses doesn't make you feel the same." "They chose to defend their land. I'm not faulting them, but you are trying to use these people as pawns, trying to spark another fight." "Takeo." "I know about him. It doesn't bother me," Eric revealed. "You all need to leave. Do not come back. Don't bring your war here." "It's not my war," Alex defended. "Whoever the next Hive is, they might destroy everything." "You're making choices for your people," Lonnie accused. "I'm not stopping them from going with you. Be gone by the night." Eric turned away, leaving the men alone. "This is going to be an awkward ride back," Reese stated. "I want nothing to do with you," Lonnie proclaimed. "I meant what I said. If we kill Conrad, I won't oppose you as long as you promise peace." "I don't want another war," Alex remarked. "I still don't trust you." "You don't have to, but for now we need one another," David stated. Alex opened the tent flap. The warm passing sun projected a reminder that time was running short. David went first, deciding to speak to a circle ready for travel. Their horses carried bags of essential food, medical supplies, and weapons. "I need another promise," Lonnie said. "If I die, the Libertarians need somebody to lead them." "Your mother. She's old. There has to be somebody else." "Andy was the only one who could have taken the mantle. I'm sure Takeo told you why he's gone. If I die, I deserve it. It's a sign that our family has led long enough." Alex agreed to mull over Lonnie's terms, and the duo set out to take the day for recruitment. They spoke with large groups and individuals. Those in mourning had a desire for revenge. Some came to their aid right away, some refused, terrified of the prospect of having to face Conrad again. Those who sat in the middle ground asked for terms regarding them joining the cause. Many wanted to scavenge the treasures within Zone 6. Others asked to be let out of future battles. Alex promised them he would try his best. Not that he could bring an end to war, losing him some possible recruits, but allowing him to live with dignity. David and Reese acted in the same way. It did not take long for the quartet to speak to each of the Amish, and with each one that he spoke to, they were bombarded with different questions. The results of Takeo's betrayal made it impossible for some of the group to put their faith in Alex, citing that Alex and the others remained loyalists, and it was in their best interest to leave. Alex was forced to explain his entire story to the others, telling them how he got the mark and what it meant to him. During the entirety of the recruitment process, Alex was forced to focus on the fact that Eric loomed over. He spread his influence over the campground, reminding others that there was no pressure to fight if it was not needed. He did not speak with anger nor sadness. It was a neutral presentation of fact. As the night wrapped its influence around the campground, the new recruits had left their positions, traveling by horse and car, all at a similar speed so that one individual did not find themselves miles ahead of the others. Those who were left behind were left with the job of cleaning the remainder of the campground, taking bodies and burying them, granting small services of respect to those who had been lost due to the effects of the battle. The remnants from the technicians that had been scattered were stripped of their original use, no longer being used for weapons, and instead finding new purpose, such as research. As a parting gift, Eric awarded David with what Alex considered a useless endeavor: empty metal shells which were used to produce detonators of the old world. An artifact that Alex thought would only be used as a novelty item. Alex kept his promise, leaving by the time the night had fallen, his new allies by his side. But the same goal remained. The Hive's death or his own would occur soon. The road to the Libertarians was torturous. Alex spent long moments wondering if he would disappoint those who followed him. The loss of Patton and Takeo gave little upward mobility to his confidence. It hindered his ability to face the three great confrontations that stood before him. The first two were of allies. He would need to ensure that Sheila let him go free once Conrad was defeated, for Alex was a threat to their imminent reign. The second was having to meet Hives again. The third was needing to face the Hive. Lonnie directed the group to their new encampment, which stole a day's journey away from the Amishmen. The Libertarians had chosen to live on a coast. Their remaining fleet lined the waters, pressed tightly amongst one another. The land contained houses that had been structured by designs of the old world. Each of them shared the similarities of being a withering asset and having enough space to fit 20 men. The differences existed within each of their exteriors. Dark structures lived next to those with eccentric color. None of it mattered. The Amishmen kept their independent spirit. Some opted to explore the beach, others mingled with the Libertarians. A select few stayed with their own. The Libertarians were alert with distrust until it was seen that Lonnie led the group. Many approached, asking him for tales of his adventures, a request that he denied. Lonnie led Alex to a home similar to what he lived in at Riverside. It was made entirely of brown. Its walls had the illusion of being made from trees. He did not knock and entered without courtesy, for their schedule required directness. The inside was grandiose and mostly bare. A shred of light poured in through windows, allowing them to see that in the open space was a sofa and a left wall comprised of dead black screens. Whoever had once owned it had evacuated. Cardboard boxes were patterned across the floor, full of items of the old world that had no use in the new. "She's here somewhere," Lonnie suggested. Alex and Lonnie forked in their directions, urging a small gathering of rats within the entrance to scurry away. As Alex searched for Sheila, the theme of old-world wastefulness came into view. He discovered a child's room. Its small bed was surrounded by toys and gadgets. The other rooms that Alex discovered held his interest. He found a bedroom where storage for clothing was in a separate section. Dust seeped onto dresses and shoes. Alex picked one up and jumped when he saw a rat hidden underneath. Its stature was the size of Alex's forearm, a mixture of green and gray at its lips, an unnatural occurrence. "What do you want, Conrad?" Alex asked. It scurried away, leading Alex to the bedroom, and saw that the floor had over 24 rats of the same caliber. They had organized themselves to form the words, "Hello, Alex." I asked, "What do you want?" The rats bound to create a new formation. The minimal sound that came from them was the pattering of feet against the carpeted floor. Some stumbled as they walked. Some moved away in a frantic direction. Some died, filling with gray. "Takeo with me," the words formed. Alex's fists clenched at the reminder of his failure, and Takeo's success to reach his desired point. He held back rage to present calmness. "Is that all?" Alex asked. The message changed, a chosen one. It did not surprise him. Conrad had taken a liking to Takeo within the island, and his tenacity made him a potential candidate. "I choose now. Come." The message gave Alex enough motivation to propel him forward. As he walked away, the animal screeched. He looked back and saw that the letter S had been created before the rodent's usefulness expired. They died with red, green, and gray slowly exiting their mouths. Their quick deaths after little use made it clear that Conrad's degenerative state had increased, pushing his need for an immediate successor. He rushed towards Lonnie as the idea of arguing with Sheila turned petty. The fate of the world was at stake. He looked through the structure and found him on the back porch standing with David. On the wooded area was an empty washing tub. Within it were many white circles, their purpose unknown. Sheila was nowhere. "Nobody has spotted her in 2 days," David said. "Then we go without her. She is the only family I have left." Lonnie paused. "I'll find her after the battle. We need a strategy, more recruits too. The collective has a rendezvous point for commanders. If we get there, they'll fight against the Hive." "The collective is only interested in weak enemies," David reminded him. "I know," Alex said as he realized that the false heart was only attacked because of its supposed vulnerable position. "We'll make them think it will be an easy kill." Reese stumbled outside the room. His eyes were wide, his forehead was dotted with sweat. Exhaustion was evident. "Great," Lonnie said. "It will pass," David claimed. Reese bent over and vomited into the tub. Alex bent down and placed his hand on Reese's back. For their journey, David opted as navigator. A map on the dash contained a few marked red dots symbolizing areas of importance for the vehicle's former owners. David set a new route based on the rendezvous point coordinates, and the internal systems tracked the best way to arrive at their destination. Doing so revealed the vehicle's flaws, as it stated that it would take 3 days of travel to reach Peddler's Lake. In reality, it took 2. The entire truck shared the same fate of old age. When Reese first swung the gun, its movements were clunky, lacking proper swivel that would provide accuracy in tight moments. Alex took control of the wheel until the group reached the outskirts of Peddler's Lake. Alex halted the convoy and stepped outside to speak to Lonnie. "I can only go to the rendezvous point with Reese and Takeo," Alex revealed. "You better not be trying to escape us," Lonnie commented. "If they see me with the collective, they will think it's an invasion. And if there's only a few of them, we could take them as hostages." "It would be a fool's gambit. I'm not planning on dying today," David said. "Do you seriously think anyone ever is?" Reese jabbed. "Have you heard of suicide? That's not fair." "Make sure you get them quickly," Lonnie said. "I'll give our alliance a real pep talk." "What are you going to say?" Alex asked. "You may have told them the truth about the Hive, but I can top that. I'll say that we're a family. People want to feel like they're a part of something." "That's corny. Let me try," Reese proposed. "We need to go," Alex said as he chuckled, imagining the disaster that would result in allowing Reese to speak on higher matters. "You can stay here if you want," Alex suggested to David, his eyes casting back towards the Alliance where audible snippets of Lonnie's speech were within earshot. "To ensure we beat Conrad, I must join you," David decided. "Is this your way of being special? Because we both feel the same way," Reese pointed out. "But we didn't do the same things. I should have died as an alternative to aid in increasing Conrad's abilities." "Don't take all the credit. Your time on the island, what was it like?" Alex asked, realizing that he hadn't ever divulged into what they had done. "Horrible," Reese revealed. "Likewise," David added, "and at least you got to do something you liked. And I need to atone for it. I found a way." "It's all of our faults," Alex said. "Just us 3, you're overreacting," Reese explained. "Not us 3, every human, every man, every woman, past and present. We let Conrad grow into what he is." "For the sake of our young, genocide can't happen again," David proposed. "How are you going to stop it?" Reese asked. "If it's not us, it'll be someone else," Alex confidently theorized. "Be a little hopeful we're all going to make it," Reese suggested. "Even without Takeo, we can still at least survive, even if he hasn't." "He was the best fighter out of all of us," Alex admitted. "Wherever he is, he's fine." The ravine was shallow, making it easy to wade through it. As the 3 of them turned a corner, they came to face a cave. Emerging from it was man in a gray suit. "Alex?" Hives boomed. His beard had grown long, and there were dark circles underneath the man's eyes. The men embraced without speaking, relieved that the other was still alive. "Why didn't you come?" Hives inquired with concern. "After the attack, we went to the Libertarians to use their radio. We couldn't use it until we finished a mission. That's when we were ambushed again. Joining the Hive for a short time was necessary. Nah, it would have killed you on the spot if you'd refused. We found out that it's dying. It's weaker than before, but not for long. It's going to choose somebody to follow him. We have an alliance that can stop it." "From where?" "The Amish, Libertarians, former loyalists, and technicians." "How?" "We asked nicely," Reese commented. "You should have come back to us instead, but you're safe now." "We didn't arrive asking for safety," David revealed. "We're here to end the war," Alex stated. Hives frowned. "The Hive's true heart is within the restricted area. The radiation was produced so nobody dared to enter," David explained. "You've been traveling too much." "I was told so by the Hive itself." "You 3 are men of the collective, you." Hives' string of words ended briefly. "Takeo's dead," he observed. "No, he left us. He betrayed you. I'd like to remind you that with each passing second, the Hive continues to build its defense," David cautioned. "I thought the Hive was getting weaker," Hives countered. "He actually has a name." "No, he doesn't," Hives denied. "We don't pursue useless wars. We protect the vision of the old world and shove man forward, not back to old conflicts. The 2 of us need to talk." Once inside, a silver rectangle cast downward from the entrance, sealing the duo from the outside world. The roof was illuminated by a string of white light above. Ahead was a second metal door. "Are they keeping you as a hostage?" Hives asked. He withdrew a knife that glowed with a blue tint. "We can end them now." "No, of course not." "Then why spread lies?" This might be our only chance to beat the Hive. Ives's eyes narrowed. Then he swung a knife at Alex's throat, narrowly missing his target. Give him back! Alex jumped away and formed his dual cannons in defense, restricting their power within the barrel. Ives, it's me, Alex insisted. Alex parried Ives's second blow with a raise of his right arm. The plasma blade eased into the cannon's exterior shell. Alex crouched and projected an oval forward with his left arm. The bubble pushed Ives away. Free his body or I will. Ives aimed for Alex's stomach. The elder was sideswept by a solid block in the form of a crafted hammer, slamming him into the granite wall, shattering hope of a peaceful outcome. I can tell you anything about me, Alex offered. Ives pitched his knife towards Alex's head. After it was avoided, Ives revealed a silver band strapped onto his hand. Alex's knowledge of its purpose forced him to the floor, making it so the knife missed as it returned to Ives. Ives withdrew a second knife and brought it downward. Alex countered by applying blasts from his guns. Both struck Ives's chest but had no effect. A surge of metal expanded from his upper body and spread until his entire frame was protected by a mecha suit. Engaged onto his back were 3 silver pipes occupied by purple fire. Twin swords extended Ives's hands, granting him the advantage for the close-quarters battle. Ives pointed his blades forward and advanced rapidly. Alex clumsily conjured his own duo of blades, which came close to dissipation once it clashed with Ives. Ives flew upward and sliced in the same direction, seeking Alex's arms. His failure in doing so allowed Alex to slip past Ives and send a blast directly into the metal door behind them. A ray of sunlight cast through it. Ives rose and turned downward while spinning his blades in an intimidating whirlwind. Alex could sense that he was losing power. A shield would not be able to withstand the enemy's blades. A crafted sword would be overpowered and a bullet stream would be blocked. Stop, Alex demanded as he summoned a short plasma whip from his right arm and dashed forward, missing the downward strike. Ives continued his pursuit, forcing a brash swing from Alex's weapon. The whip ensnared Ives's body, but he managed to cleanly disembody the top layer of Alex's cannon, destroying its serviceability. Alex deflected by blasting Ives's facial coverage. Ives's jetpack ignited, and he blasted into the air, evading the majority of the shot. The damage delivered to both men was prominent. Alex's right arm burned in agony. The inner components of the cannon trickled to the ground in a mixture of wires, metal rings, motherboards, and sparks. The left half of Ives's mask had fallen. The skin underneath was covered with blood. Ives, Alex pleaded, it's me. I met you for the first time by the wicker tree. Ives spat blood downward and screamed. His purple flames increased. Alex ended it by creating a continued beam that was initially blocked by Ives's swords, but within seconds penetrated, shredding into Ives's armor, reaching his skin. As Ives crashed to the ground, he left a trail of blood. Alex ran to him and saw that his wounds were deeper than expected. His stomach had been cut through completely. Alex cradled the body with great regret. He wanted nothing more than to reverse his action. I'm sorry, I need help to lead them. The door to the inner cave rose. A pattering of feet slowly poured upwards, prepared to kill. Alex stood, ready to take his last stand.